What is this setup? Oh, hi. Can you say hi to the camera? Hello. Hi, everybody. Hey, everyone. It's Christine. It has been a minute, quite some time since I've been on here, and my plan for this is just to keep it really raw, unscripted, just like we're just sitting down and catching up after a long time, which is exactly what we're going to be doing, and hoping that I won't have to really do too many edits to this, just because that would just be ideal for me right now. But how are you all doing? I did share on Instagram, just send him some questions because I really want to understand what you all would like to see. I was at the time when I had sent that out, I was really feeling good and just ready to jump back in and create and push out some stuff on here again. But then of course reality hits and it's like things are getting kind of busy. I'm getting pulled in different directions, and it kind of bums me out sometimes that I can't fully prioritize this, but I always have it on the back of my mind where I'm like, it'd be nice to just pop on here and say hi and see how everyone's doing, and just like the good old times, But I think I'm just so fortunate that so many of you are just so patient with me, because I think in one of my Instagram stories I said something about like, does it even make sense to still continue posting on here? Would anyone want to see an update? But in that moment, I was like, I'm feeling like I'm in this new era, and why not just talk about it? It's weird because just thinking about where I was in that moment, where I thought, oh, I really want to start posting on here again. I feel like I'm in this era of just wanting to celebrate more, and not just celebrate more for the sake of celebrating, but also because I want to celebrate myself more. And I know that might sound so self-serving, so like, oh, look at me, which if anyone knows me, that's just not who I am. But back in the summertime, I just had this moment of realization that I do want to celebrate myself, and I haven't really felt that way in a long time, definitely not in the past years. Always just beating myself up for different things, still kind of struggling with that now, but realizing like, no, like I do know my value. I feel so much more, not necessarily confident. I just feel like I feel more sure of myself and who I am, and I don't need to try to be something I'm not for everybody else. And that feels really good. It also feels good just to know that I've made it to this point when I was struggling so much, maybe a couple years ago, that like I should just celebrate that. Hey, I'm here today, still doing my thing. And I think as I've been feeling that way, I really want to make sure I want to make sure like that's contagious. I want that to emanate off of me. I want others to feel the same way. And not everyone's going to meet me in that same spot, right? Not everyone's going to feel that way about themselves. And I see so much potential in other people and the people in my life, and I just like want them to feel good, and I want the best for them. Because I feel like whenever I feel good, I almost need to like capitalize on it. I need to show up. I need to be there for the people I care about, and that includes a lot of you. I know I don't know you all personally. I know there are some of you who might come on here who have never seen me before. I'm Christine. Hi. But for those of you who have watched for a while, it just feels like you're a part of me. You're a part of my history, and you're a friend to me, and I want to catch up. And if you're here just listening in, thank you. This is after a long day. I know I'm looking probably kind of spent, very bare. I will admit I tried to shoot this maybe a couple times before. Tried to look really nice for you all, and it just didn't feel right. It just felt like, yeah, it didn't feel right. This is what it needs to be. So yeah, we're just gonna talk about some things. I'm literally catching up with you as if like you are a really good friend of mine that I haven't seen in a while, which I don't know, like this feels kind of weird too, just because like I literally do have friends that I just haven't caught up with in a while, and it's not because I haven't wanted to is just because, I don't know, I guess life has gotten in the way. I've been getting in my own way. And sometimes yeah, I just have to not think of myself as like a burden or like I'm like troubling someone or, like, everyone's kind of living their own lives now. So, like, let me just keep doing my own thing. But there is also a little tiny piece of that because I think, so much time is just spent in my corporate role and then outside of that, wanting to spend time with my partner and with my dog and my family. And then, close friends who do reach out. When close friends or other people reach out to like try to make plans with me, that feels so like, oh, so nice how I don't have to plan something. I spend so much time planning and scheduling and coordinating and just like thinking about all these different things that outside of work, I don't really want to spend more time planning and scheduling and coordinating. And I know a lot of people can relate to this. I know like it kind of like makes me sad that I've even been feeling that way for so long because that really means like I've just been in my head and feeling mentally drained in so many different ways without like trying to do something about it and really trying to balance that out and ground myself again. Because I think the very happy, healthy side of me wants to coordinate things and see a bunch of people and host gatherings because that's when I'm in a good, healthy state. That's usually who I am. But, don't even be fooled by all this. Like, this was an attempt to just get into the holiday spirit, but I haven't been feeling that into the holiday spirit. Like, even with Thanksgiving, I was just like, it's another holiday. Christmas is upon us, and I'm not feeling that holiday spirit, that holiday joy, which I don't even know why. And I'm not trying to even like sound all sad about it. It's more, I'm just not feeling it. But I'm feeling happy and grateful and, like still like proud of myself. I'm still feeling a lot of other positive emotions. But, there are ups and downs where some days I don't feel that. I feel just lost or really questioning, like, why do I spend so much of my time thinking about certain things, my mental energy on things that really probably don't matter that much in the long run. But it's so real. It's so real to me. And yeah, so I don't know. When I think about the past year, I feel like I got stuck on so many things, and yeah, I guess I feel like I've like reached another chapter of growth. If I really were to describe this era that I'm in, it really started with I need to celebrate myself more. I need to celebrate life more. And with some changes, that's when I looked at Matt and I thought, do you want to go to Greece in a month? Because we haven't traveled like that in a while, where it's just the two of us going on an international trip, which I know is like such a privilege because I know like some people get to travel all the time while others, it really is a luxury. And I just never want to take that for granted. And Greece is one of those places where, I don't know, it was on my mind, like it was on my bucket list to go so long ago. It kind of felt like we went just to nourish that like youthful, that youthful me from a while back, just to be like, hey, you get to go now. We went, we had a great time. I did actually create some blog posts around it and shared some photos on socials, but I'm not going to talk too much about it just because I feel like I talked a lot about it in the blog articles I wrote, which, by the way, writing those really kind of like sparked something in me that's like, you do need to create for yourself again. You need to create for yourself more and stop worrying about whether it's going to perform well or not, whether people are going to like it or not. You just need to do it. You just need to keep creating because like, by saying you, I'm really talking to myself. But maybe if this is resonating with anyone, let me know down below, because I think when you get so sucked up into doing and creating for others and it's maybe not a genuine expression of who you are and your full potential or a genuine expression of your creativity, I think over time you can just feel like you're losing yourself a little bit. But yeah, where am I getting at? I'm definitely sweating. Okay. So you all did leave some questions, so I'm just going to go into answering some of them because I am blabbering. Have you recently tried something new, went out of your comfort zone, and was glad you tried it? So I would say, yeah, for the most part, yes. It doesn't mean it doesn't always come without its challenges, but I rarely regret making the decisions that I make. And one of the more recent things is taking on a lead role. So I am leading a committee, it's a mentorship committee for one of our employee resource groups at the company I'm working at. And so that is outside my comfort zone. I think it's because everything's so new. Even the network, that employee resource group, is so new that it's like literally starting from scratch. And having built out that committee, the members on our team are so amazing. They're so smart that it's really exciting, but it's also like, am I even worthy of leading this team, or leading this committee, which I know I shouldn't think that way, but I feel humbled, and I'm glad to just even potentially develop some leadership skills through this. So I think it's totally worth it. I think it's also very fulfilling to do this kind of thing because it is voluntary. It's not something that I'm doing hoping to gain a promotion out of or hoping to get more money out of. It's not anything like that. I think there's just a lot I can learn from it and gain from it. So that is definitely one of the more recent things. Another just fun thing that happened earlier in this year, one of my coworkers, actually she was the one who recruited me, she really tried to just get me to partner with her, to team up with her for a cornhole tournament that we had. And I thought, are you sure you want me to play? Because I'm just not coordinated, I'm not athletic, not that you need a ton of athletic ability, but you still kind of do. It is a sport. It's a sport. And I just thought, I'm gonna be terrible at this. Why would you want to team up with me? But I'm so glad that she pulled me into it because I ended up just growing obsessed, growing addicted. And playing cornhole was such a nice mental break from things. We even got some boards to put into our backyard, and every time I would go out there and just practice and train and play, it was such a nice way to just focus all my intention and efforts on something fun and not think about work or anything serious. Really just have fun and try to just get better at something totally new, something totally different. And what's exciting is that we were the only female team to make it into the top 4, into the semifinals. So that was cool, right? There were some questions around my health. Hello, how is your health doing? My mom deals with atrial fibrillation. You mentioned something about chest pain a while ago. How is that? Will you have kids? All right, let's back it up a little bit. Okay, so what they are referring to was earlier this year, I was dealing with tightness in my chest and also some fluttering. I thought it was just stress and anxiety, but I knew if it's something that's affecting my heart, I probably should get that checked out. So that's what I did. Oh gosh, I'm gonna mess this up. But what it ended up being was PVCs. And what that is that it is a type of heart arrhythmia where you're getting additional heartbeats. And so what the cardiologist that I went to was pretty much telling me is that if you get too many of those additional heartbeats, a day, and it continues that way, that it can really wear your heart down over time to the point where you want to take some medication to control and regulate all of that. But luckily everything improved and I wasn't getting a ton of those additional heartbeats. Again, they even had me go through a stress test where I was on a treadmill. I even had an echocardiogram where they basically took an ultrasound of my heart. Not cheap, by the way. That was definitely pricey. But I was glad that I just, made sure to get myself checked up and prioritize my health for once. So I am doing a lot better. Thank you all so much for asking. I think there was just a lot going on at that time, including finding out that my parents' dog, Sydney, has diabetes and having to, deal with injecting her with insulin twice a day for about a couple weeks while my parents are away. And that was all so new, and it was stressful because she didn't like it. She started getting kind of aggressive, but it's like, but I need to give you your insulin. And so that was a whole thing. It was a little tough, but she's doing really well too now. I think I was like really, really worried about her and just constantly thinking about her diet and just afraid that her lifespan would be cut really short. So, like for those of you who may know, like we had to say bye to Sammy, my parents, our family boy dog some time ago, and I went through such a heavy grieving period, even just anticipatory grief, like prior to having to say bye to him, that I think all those like emotions started rushing back, and it was just, like when you just want to like feel like you can gain control of certain things, but sometimes you can only do so much and you kind of have to be okay with that. I think over time I just came to terms with that, basically, where I'm like, okay, I can't control all these things, but I do need to take care of my health. And yeah, I'm going off on a tangent, but that answers your questions, right? Thank you so much for asking. That really is so just kind and thoughtful of you all to ask that. Thank you. Okay, what else? Okay, so I'm not avoiding the kids question. It's a legitimate question. I'm not getting any younger. To add to that, there's another question around it. Kids, I'm 36 and hubby not sure, so we are embryo freezing. What are your thoughts on kids as a 30-year-old? I think, what? I was actually thinking about this a lot. I think, was it yesterday or the other day? They weren't the most positive thoughts, so let me just preface that, and then I will properly answer your question. But what I was thinking about yesterday was, gosh, like if you think about when you choose to have kids, so whether it's in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and then you think about like how old you'll be when your kid is in college, potentially, right? College isn't for everyone, but let's just say hypothetically, if I were to have a kid in the next few years, which is so scary to think about, but I also feel like isn't out of the question. It isn't impossible. It could happen, right? I'm just saying it could. That by the time this hypothetical kid, hypothetically maybe in college, that I would be in my, maybe nearing my 60s or in my 60s. And that is a crazy thought. And it did actually leave me feeling a little sad, just like a tiny, tiny tinge of sadness, a little bit. And, like people judge, like they do. I don't know if I'll look like I'm in my 60s when I'm in my 60s, but like even if I'm in my 50s and my hypothetical kid, I'm holding the kid like this, like if they're in their early teens or maybe they're 10, it's like that thought of like, okay, it stopped recording. I don't even know at what point, but yeah, I was just thinking about like those who have kids earlier, maybe they're onto something because you're going to be able to stay youthful and have more energy, and I don't know, just like not have as like big of an age gap between you and your children. So I see positives there, right? Okay, this is where I'm going to start answering your question. But I also see a lot of positive factors in like when you're older and you really come into your own. And some people don't really feel like they come into their own until they're in their 30s, or not even until their 40s, or even at like into the 50s, you're still trying to figure yourself out. And I think that's okay. That there's something kind of exciting about that too, where it's like you feel emotionally more prepared, maybe a little bit more emotional maturity. You just feel like you've kind of gone through more, and you're going to be able to like take what you've learned and really pass that down to your kids. So I know that's not exactly your question, just I think generally what your thoughts are on having kids as a 30-year-old. I think if you are able and willing and you want to, I think that is amazing. I think there are people who do have kids well into their 40s, but if the fact that you are embryo freezing and you're planning ahead, I think that's really smart. I've questioned if I should do that as well. So those are my thoughts. And I swear I have friends who ask me about this, and I have not given them anywhere near as in-depth of a response as this. So you're very welcome. And to any friends that are watching this, I'm sorry I could not articulate this better whenever you've asked me, because a lot of times they'll ask me and they're often met with me just like sighing and feeling exasperated and just like thinking like, do I have to have kids? Like, and I know it can seem so immature, but it's a big deal. It's a huge deal. I'm not going to get so into this, but I just think having kids is like a way bigger deal than marriage even. It's a lifetime commitment, So there's that. Okay. All right. Maybe just one or two more questions, because I really, really went off on a tangent there. Okay. What is 16er wearing? And do you ever watch your old videos back? So I'm going to do another video, hopefully very soon. Can't promise it, but it's been something I've been wanting to do and kind of been planning in my head. Because I've been shopping for fall, winter, and, just planning for upcoming trips, which that is another question. But yeah, just stay tuned. I do want to share that. I think me just describing it to you right now is not going to do it much justice, and I also want it to be helpful. So, I try to provide links where I can. I try to show some different outfit combinations. So I'm going to try to incorporate all of that into my next video. So please stay tuned. All right. Do you ever watch your old videos back? So the number one video that I watch back, and I will gladly link this down below, is a recipe video that I did with my mom. She was making a Vietnamese like dipping sauce. I reference that recipe video all the time because I am terrible at memorizing recipes. So thank you very much, Mom, because I love that recipe. A lot of people clearly love it, and I can't recommend it enough. I highly, highly recommend it, especially if you've never tried it before. It is a great, great dipping sauce. Okay, next travel destination on your list. So we are actually going to be heading to London at the end of the year, actually like right after Christmas. We're going with Matt, my partner. We're going with him and his family and reuniting and connecting with a lot of his family over there. So he has family there, but he also has family traveling from other parts of the globe to come to there. So it's going to be just like this really fun reunion. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And then we're going to be spending at least like the first few chunk of days, maybe first few days with them, and then we're going to break off and kind of do our own thing. So if you have any recommendations of what we should do, if we have about 2 to 3 days, some maybe short trips from London, let me know, because we've been debating about this for a bit and we're just very undecided still. I'm going to leave it there. It is, what time is it right now? It is 10:19 p.m. I do have to go to work tomorrow, so we are going to call it quits right here. But thank you all so much for tuning in, especially if you made it to this point. Please let me know down below with what emoji. You know what? Let me see. What emoji am I really liking lately? I feel like I use the same ones over and over again. You know what? Leave It's getting random. Leave a squirrel down below, because we had squirrels in our attic and that was fun to deal with. So if you've made it to this point, leave a squirrel down below, and I will see you all in my next video.